Oh, there we go.
Doubled up.
There we go. This was right next to the boat also, Andy. See that?
Nice.
See how close I was there? Wow, nice fish.
Oh. There we go.
That might be a little better.
Oh, that fish is screaming, Rick.
Wow.
You're watching Northeast Angling. We're proud to present inshore and offshore saltwater fishing. We cover every species from fluke and porgies to stripers, sharks, and tuna. You can learn more about techniques, tackle, and destinations at neangling.com. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Well, here we are. We got a beautiful day. We left out of Hyannis. We're with Captain Mitch Mills, Mitch of the Seahawk Charters, part of the Helen H family. And Mitch, we're doing something that I've never seen before in my entire life. I can't wait to hook up. It looks pretty interesting. We're shell squidding.
That's right.
All right, tell me a little bit about this now. How do you do this?
Basically, we're working the rips. We're putting our bait over the edge where the fish are holding. And we're just trying to keep the boat a little bit ahead of the rip. And we're working back and forth in certain areas where the shoal is broken up and the fish are holding.
I got you.
Right now I see we're in only about 8 feet of water, but back behind the boat where the waves are breaking, it drops off to how deep does it get back there, Mitch?
It goes from 15 to 20 feet.
Right, and we can already see the fish in the surf line.
Yep.
And I know you've been using the shell squid. We brought a lot of other cool stuff along to try. A lot of it's from Yozuri. And we're going to see what works here. And one thing we do know, the fish are here, and this is going to be a great test of different artificials on this bite, especially as the rip begins to form and weakens and strengthens. How long is this bite going to go? Is it going to go the whole tide?
Usually it's 2 or 3 hours during the tide. Sometimes early, sometimes late, but as you can see, we got fish here already. We can see them in the waves.
Yeah, now we got some gulp squid also we're going to try. We got a lot of different techniques we may try. Unless this just gets ripped wrong, we may stay with it. But, I mean, it's a beautiful area. Tell me a little bit about this place.
It's Monomoy, and it used to be an island, but a storm came through last winter and joined it to Chatham, so you can actually walk out.
Wow.
And there's seals and all kinds of seabirds, and there's an old lighthouse and all kinds of ship timber. It's a great place.
Yeah, it's really what Cape Cod is famous for. Places like this are a little out of the way. They have a lot of history, an incredible nautical history here, and an incredible fishing history.
Yep, most of that. I mean, you showed us that pack of seals on the way out. We've seen them right on the beach. You said we'll probably see them again on the way in. That'd be what, 30, 40 seals laying right up on the beach? You know, and I guess they're there almost every morning, right?
Yeah, we started off with a seal trip, no extra charge for that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
We also do seal trips, so, all along here, you could go anywhere on the beach and see seals on the shore or right off the shore, just, cooling themselves, and that's where they spend this time of the year.
Okay, so
there's a big colony of seals.
We're going to reel up now. We're going to get back up on this rip, and we're going to see if we can get this to work, right?
Okay.
Well, and I'm going to try something other than the shell squid right off the bat.
Give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Oh, there we go, Andy.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is all about the boat handling. Mitch, what are you doing to keep us here? What's your real goal here?
Whew, look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
Well, Andy, we're just trying to keep the boat in the spot, ahead of the rip. So
and about how much space between you and the rip? You're just trying to stay out of the breakers?
Like this, you want to just keep maybe a boat length in front of the edge of the rip.
Okay.
And make sure the bait is 3 or 4 waves into the rip. Where the drop-off is.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You don't need to catch a lot of these fish in the course of the day. because it seems like you can fight one for about half an hour here.
Well, but the thing is, there seem to be a lot of them here.
Definitely. You know, it's amazing. And there seems to be like a code among the anglers here also. When you say, Mitch, everybody lines up?
Mostly.
Mostly, basically what you... Well, why don't you explain that to them, you know, for
I
people...
would like to think that there's ethics amongst all the fishermen so that when you're on a spot, you don't get pushed around or, you know, somebody isn't interfering with your fish.
Well, you know, it's
and
amazing.
For the most part, people get along.
Because if you look around us, and it looks like we're flying, but in reality, you know, we've been on the same marks
Right
for
in the same spot.
20 minutes now, not even moving. So I guess everybody picks their own lane, Andy, and they work it out.
Right, and then you got, and everybody, there's a little slide to the drift, so you probably try and just keep the same distance from the other guy, and at some point you might abandon your spot, I guess, and bounce down to another spot in the rip.
In the heat of the moment, when there's a lot of boats here, you definitely don't want to drift back through the rip because you will lose your spot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, somebody's just going to come and slide right in there.
And again, we got good conditions today, but I could see at some point in time, you just don't want to drift through the rip.
You and I need to switch again.
I mean,
That too.
You said yesterday you were catching them here. You had a trip yesterday, you had a charter. You had a 6-foot standing waves, and you were catching them right in the curls.
Stands
right?
up pretty good sometimes
I
out
can
here.
imagine. You get a good wind against
Well, I got
tide
one
here.
coming right now.
I'm starting to get line on this fish. I have
Rich,
no
you think
idea.
we're going to need to net that fish?
I don't know. I have no idea with this amount of tide. Look at this. I mean, he's going forward now, so that's one of the reasons why the line's coming off. But anyway, with this amount of tide, I can't tell you what I got here.
Well, and obviously you need a driver here all the time. When does this bite start, Mitch? You get a spring shot and a summer shot? What's really the plan here?
In June, this place was on fire.
Really?
We caught tons of fish here, and then the water got warm, it shut off, the bluefish came in, we weren't catching them, and it's just now started to heat up again. The water temperature's down to 57.
57 in early August.
That's amazing.
They're chasing squid, they got little squid in here they're chasing, there's sand eels in here, and there's plenty of bait to hold them in here.
And you can also, you know, this is one of those things, this could be done down in Cape May, in the Cape May rips, and there's so many places. We saw Watch Hill, there's some great rips.
Yeah.
This technique, that people could probably do this just about anywhere.
You know, Andy, this is one of the advantages that you and I have by fishing a lot of different areas, because this technique you can apply in so many different places that I never thought about doing anything like this.
No.
But did you?
No, not with artificials. You know, we might think about dropping some bait back into this rep, but boy, this is nice.
Yeah, it's you know, clean, convenient way to fish.
I just
You
saw
know?
some color on that fish. That's not a bad
I
fish,
just
Rich.
lost them though. You know what it is? Every time I get line on it, we get closer to the rip. And Mitch has got to bump us up another 10, 15 feet, and I lose that 10 or 15 feet.
Well, with the tide tearing through here at 2 knots or more, low tackle like that, sometimes you have a hard time pulling it out of the rip.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, I mean, we've had tuna on this gear, believe it or not. What kind of rods we got here, Andy?
That's a Travala with a Spheros. It's got 30-pound Fireline crystal in it. We like that because they say it's supposed to, you know, have a little less visibility, but above the water it actually has more, so you have a very good idea of where your bait is in the rip. And this is a great application for a high-vis line.
Absolutely.
What's good about this here also is, you know, you and I, we're getting close to each other, we're jockeying
You got
around.
switch?
No, but I mean, in general we are. And, you know, we can see our lines apart so much easier.
Right.
So we don't tangle. All right, this fish is coming. It's a nice fish, guys.
And I'm going to go and just put my rod down for a minute and just get the net and put it near you.
Well, we got time because Mitch just went forward again. Mitch, the average size fish you see here, what do you think?
They're usually between 26 and 36 inches.
Okay, and the bigger fish, what's the biggest you seen here?
They get some pretty good sized fish. I mean, you get 20, 25 pound class fish out of here quite often.
And that's all on artificials, right?
Yeah, are all artificial.
And, you know, this is a great application for really light tackle, which is not a bad
That is
fish.
a
No,
decent
I'm
fish.
getting line on them now too, Andy. I'm gonna take them right now.
Well, if Mitchell let us slide back for a second, we might get this fish.
Okay.
But he's gonna slide us
Hey,
back into that
here's the
rip.
good news. You're not going to have to revive him.
No, definitely not. All right, we got color on this fish. He's coming close. All right, come on,
Oh,
baby.
look at that. This water's like so clear.
Ain't it? Look at that.
Look how hot that fish still
That's a
is.
good fish.
Oh, you ready, Eddie?
Yeah, man.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Fall in. Fall in.
I needed an assist
Oh,
from the
man.
current.
Good fish.
You
Good
know, we were
fish.
tuna fishing in the canyon last week, and my arm was aching from that, and I'm feeling the effects of it all over again, right,
Rich,
Andy?
That is not too shabby.
No, that's a nice looking fish right there. Woo. Right in the corner of the mouth. Now, your rigs, you like a little small treble on it? We use a mustad treble.
One odd treble.
A mustad one-odd treble. You can see the rig that we're using here. And you've been using the Ozori squid. They've been working good too.
That's right.
And Rich, could you just get me a
Pliers?
pair of pliers from anywhere? Here we go. Thank you, Mitch.
There you go. You got it?
Yep, we got it. And you know, this, like I said, this fish, minimal reviving.
No, definitely not. Well, you can see the dorsal fins up on that fish
I'm
already
just gonna lay them in the water
Nice
and
fish.
just let the current run them.
Let me tell you, nice fish Andy for. I caught it.
Well, I'm doing all the work.
He's
Wait,
the boss.
He's doing
all right?
How is he the boss? Whoa, I'm getting hit from every
Wow,
angle
look at this
now.
current.
Get him back, Andy.
Nice.
This thing, it
All
took
right,
off like a rocket.
Visit the Northeast Angling website at neangling.com for nationwide saltwater charter directory, fishing news, and free fishing reports. You can also find dozens of techniques, tips, and tackle for every saltwater species. Now let's get back to the action.
Fish on, Andy.
Oh, there's a hit, Andy.
Oh, he's it.
He's on. There you go. Woohoo.
Well, Mitch, you called it. I wasn't quite getting that whole squid thing. So, Mitch gave me another squid, a little Yozuri squid. It's really it's a diving lure, right?
Right. It's got a
And-
spoon on the front. It's got a real good action to it, and it dives down.
And you know what? I just let it drop back to the rip. I stuck it in the holder and just let it work. And I've actually had this lure in our box for some time.
It's funny you said that. Go
I
ahead.
never really found the application for it. And this is clearly the application for it.
You know, as you and I especially, oh, I just got nailed. Did you see that? Wow, I just got tanked, Danny. As you and I have been fishing a little bit further east and in New England also, you know, Block Island and whatnot, they have a lot bigger population of squid than what we have down in the west there, you know?
You're right.
And it just seems like, you know, we didn't really use that lure much because of where we've been fishing.
But we
clearly,
had it. We knew we loved the action on it. We just needed the right application. This isn't a very big fish.
clearly up here, it's definitely something that should be in your arsenal. All right, I'll leader that fish for you if you want to back up.
I'll just step back. I'll leader it.
Okay,
Just give me a second.
you got it.
There he comes.
There he is, Andy. That fish looks a little fatigued, buddy.
He's not too bad. He's still working it. And there's that squid.
I got nailed when you were reeling that fish up. Probably one of the followers, you know?
Well, there's clearly some fish in there. We actually can see them in the surf line. You can, when the waves come up, you can see them, and they're all facing right at us.
Yep.
So it's all about presenting these
Any of
in
like,
their face.
any of the hardcore surf fishermen that I've watched, like along the beach, late in the fall when them fish are coming down the beach, you actually see them bass right in the curling waves along the beach, coming in, chasing a bait. It's like the same thing, but we're fishing a rip, you know, a few miles off the beach. And show that lure also, because that.
Well, you know what? It is a squid.
You know,
It's got the right color. It's got the same color as our shell squid, and it's got this lip. And the lip just makes it dig into the water.
And that color match for the squid, I would say would be perfect right now.
Yeah, match the hatch.
Yep,
I'm
most
putting
definitely.
this guy back, and I'm getting this lure back in the water.
There we I fished him again. Come on, baby. I just got nailed. Woof. There he is. Ah, 2 strikes. Oh, there he is again. See him? Look at this. You can see him just jolting the tip. Come on, baby. Keep that speed, Mitch. Come on. Where are you? Fish hit me like 4 times. Wow. I'll tell you, this is an exciting way to fish, Andy. It really is. See if I can get that one back.
Well, and it's a pretty way to fish because you feel like you're at the beach because it's got all the noise and everything else.
Yeah.
It's got everything but girls in bikinis on beach towels.
Visit the Northeast Angling YouTube channel for hundreds of videos, including full-length episodes, exciting clips, product reviews, and instructional videos. And now, the exciting conclusion of Northeast Angling.
Here you go, Andy.
Fish on.
Well, you know what? This is my 4th or 5th lure change. I figure it's squid. I put a little gulp squid on, And Mitch, you picked that color out. Was that like the natural looking one?
Right.
You think it's important to match the hatch on what's happening here?
Of course, the closer you can come to the natural bait, the better off you're going to be.
Oh, there we go.
Doubled up.
There we go. This was right next to the boat also, Andy. See that? See how
Nice.
close I was there?
Wow. That looks...
Eh. And this, why he's up on top. And this tide, I'll tell you, it's hard to tell you, but.
This feels good.
Yep. He's got him. I got him up in a wave there. He looks, you know, pretty decent. Doubling up with Captain Mitch. You know,
It's a lot of fun. Now I'm like right on top here, Rich. I'm gonna try and steer away. Oh man, we are so close.
yeah, I see. I'm onto you right now.
I
We should
know.
be all right. We should be able to work
Stay-
this out. There we go.
Stay down.
Hold off to the right if you can.
We used a lot of different tackle today. We used some conventional reels, we used spinning reels. We even had our Torse out there. Probably the right outfit for this is going to be a really good spinning reel. This happens to be a Spheros 8000. We've got it loaded with 20-pound Fireline crystal. We've got it on a 7-foot Terramar rod. This lets us do, if we want to flip to one side or another, we see a fish in the waves, we can actually flip out and really control our line pretty well. On the end of this, we used a 4-foot length of Yozuri fluorocarbon leader, a little mustad rolling swivel, and we tipped it with a bunch of different but very similar looking lures. This is a 7-strand squid. We put a little weight in it, followed it by a treble. We also had this Yozuri squid lure, very similar presentation, just sits and swims in the current. You can almost dead stick this. And then we also used the gulp squids in a couple of different sizes. Smaller ones work pretty good today because we had a lot of smaller bait around. We were trying to match the hatch. And to finish this off, we take a little 7/0 mustad bait holder hook, leader, 3 feet up, probably a 2-ounce egg sinker should do the trick.
You know, Andy, safety is a big factor in this area. I mean, Mitch, you get these standing waves, they get what, 6, 7 feet sometimes?
During certain tides and when it's really standing up out here, it can get a little bit dangerous working the edge over here with a small boat.
This boat is no stranger to big waves.
Yeah. This is fun. And actually, Andy and I are no stranger to this boat. This was our boat. We had this boat. We filmed with it last year. And we had Joe Huck from the Helen H out with us a few times. And Joe was so impressed with the ride, he wound up buying that boat. Now we're waiting for our new one to come.
In fact, while he owned it, we took it to the canyon in April in 8 to 10-foot seas. Just didn't tell him.
That was a 98-mile run in April for a tilefish, which we caught. And I think I still feel the bones aching a little bit from that trip.
It was from the cold. It wasn't from the ride.
Yeah. No, but it was a snotty day and it was freezing out.
Wow, this is a nice little fish. He's got that squid
That's a
hanging out
good
of his
fish.
mouth.
And you want a net for that fish?
No, I'm gonna try and grab down and lip him because I see you're over here.
Yep.
So let me just.
I'm gonna
work
slip
him over
in. Why don't
here.
you move that one up? Because I got mine on too. Mine's coming up. I'm gonna get mine before you get yours. Come here, buddy. Whoa. This is such an interesting rig. It really is. What a very interesting rig. Now you can see we got a little bit of a grass issue. So when you are doing this, you definitely got to keep an eye on your lines. Make sure you're clear. Now I'm holding him in a gill plate, not the gills, so I have him pretty secure. I know this fish is pretty much juiced and ready to go. That's a pretty fish, right?
That's a beauty.
Look at that. Whew.
Awesome looking fish.
I'd like to know how
like
many
that.
squid are in his stomach too. I'm sure there's a few.
I bet.
I'm gonna drop this one in. Andy, how you making out?
I just about have me. Just it's right at boat side. He's diving down here. Good
Yeah,
looking
I'm
fish.
released. That's a nice fish. Now that was on the gulp, right?
He's got a little gulp squid, and I put a 2-ounce egg about 5 feet up ahead of him. You can really see that squid. Oh man.
Mitch, how long will this bite last here?
Today, it should last the rest of the tide.
I got you.
Hopefully,
and in general, what month?
hopefully it'll last a real good long time.
What month?
We catch striped bass here right through November
Do you?
until they head out, you know, after they're done feeding and doing their migration thing, and then they head down to the Chesapeake.
And you get them right up in the same area here too,
Yep.
right? Now I know you charter for these fish on this boat, which is now the Seahawk.
We do.
And I mean, this is something people got to do because it's just such a unique way of fishing. I mean, I've never done anything like this. You've never done anything like this.
I've never seen a bite like this, and I think this is a test of You can come here and test out a lot of different gear. You can fish conventional, you can fish spinning tackle, you can try your swimming lures, you can probably throw plugs at these.
You probably could.
The Gulf shrimp certainly work, you know, the Yozuri squid worked, everything worked. And you could probably learn a lot about striped bass fishing in general doing this.
Just watching the way the fish behave, watching the way they run with the tide. And you know what's interesting? I mean, we've caught a lot of fish in our lives. We caught a lot of bigger bass in our lives in the different areas. And, you know, we've had fish, you know, 36 inches, 35 inches. But let me tell you something. You know, we've caught 40-pound fish, 50-pound fish. This is just a unique, fun way to catch them.
And it's challenging.
It's not something that you see every day, you know. We're riding the edge of these waves and looking down and looking at 7 or 8 bass just curving, and you got to get them to eat. And it's tough. It's challenging. It really is.
Yeah, you see them out there and you go, wow, they don't seem to want this right now, or I'm not working this properly. And just, you know, a couple little changes, little adjustments, and you can catch these. But it also gives you a chance to develop confidence in other gear that you normally don't use.
You know, I'll be honest with you, like I said, certain things stand out in your mind being a fisherman, days you remember, times you remember, fish that you caught. This is something that's unique. I am always going to remember this because I've never seen like the way these bass come up in the waves and everything else. And I appreciate this day. I really do. Thank you.
And I'm going to be rip fishing from now on.
Thank you for watching. You can use the buttons below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch more videos, or to learn more about the location, techniques, and gear as seen in this video.